Okay. So I'm with Megan here doing an interview. I've been working with Megan from New Zealand for how long? About 5, 6 months now, and on and off. And gonna talk about your experience and insights and whatever you got from it, whatever you didn't get, anything is true for you. Do you want to say something about yourself, Megan, or introduce yourself?
I think you've done it. Hi, I'm Megan from New Zealand. I met Daniel through the Self-Mastery community doing the Beyond the Mind meditation course, I think it was. I was, the timing of your group session suited New Zealand time. So that was
Good.
what I show up to. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's how we met. Good. Good that happened. So I'll just get to it. Well, obviously you started coaching, you've been doing inner work even beforehand. How long have you been doing work on yourself before we started working together?
Like official work, I guess we're always sort of working on ourselves, aren't we? But I joined probably the Self-Mastery community was would have been coming up 2 years, I think. Yeah, maybe just over. I found Gary's Pathway to Happiness website and downloaded the first few sessions for free, and then it was several months, and then I got these emails about this new online community they were opening, and he was doing his course with a group, which was something new they were starting. So I joined that intake, which I think from memory was like July 2 years ago.
So you started about 2 years ago doing the self-mastery work, and you maybe started with that. How was that like for you? What was progress you made, insights, discoveries?
I think for a while, I think I knew for a while that things, even it's funny, people have asked me, how did you come across it? And I actually don't even know how the Pathway to Happiness, maybe, I don't know, who knows what I've been Googling or what, but it came up. Somehow I came across it. And for a while I'd been feeling like I was caught in a loop, and I could see these patterns that I would get caught in and not know how to get out of them. And literally feel myself going into it and knowing fully well that I was there, but just feeling like I didn't know how to change that or stop it or move. And so I think starting the course, like, I guess it just made sense, some of the things, that I heard initially, and then it was all quite, it was all made sense to me, I guess. And then, but I still felt like doing the course, once I'd finished the course, there would be a like an end point, or then I'd reach a level and it would all be fine. And
all your problems will be fixed, and all your patterns and emotional
kind of like,
thinking issues.
take a tablet and it would be done. If you'd given me the quick, easy fix, I would have gone for it. And then it probably took me a little bit, I'd say, even during the course, I don't know, a few months even, and before realizing there is no end goal, that it is a journey. And then, like we were talking the other day, but I sort of only recently, so I remember some testimonies, or I can't even remember reading or hearing or what, but from early on, talking about it's just doing the work, the practice. And then he was talking about a woman who sort of 18 months down the track had still felt like she hadn't progressed, but then it took that long before she realised, there were steps and things changed. And I probably felt a bit similar. Like, I know I've been progressing. Like, I can look at see wins and see things, but it's just of recent that I've probably really felt a shift in terms of the work I've been doing, and can see probably like significant changes in my thought processes and the way I approach things now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and steady.
It sometimes takes a while. You do this 1% steps. But if you look 6 months back, or 4 or 5 months back, or a year back, suddenly you're like, wow, I was this completely different person. It's kind of like with kids, right? You don't notice they're getting tall every day, but if you look 2 years ago, you're like, wow, they really grew. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I'm curious where you were in your life before we started working together. What was going on for you internally in your life?
I think I'd reached a point where I knew I needed to, not that I'd gone as far as I could on my own, but I think I was finding it harder to make progress or, do things on my own. And I think I knew I needed another step, but I probably wasn't quite sure what or how, or, and I think Ava had made a podcast or something about around that time as well. And I think it was actually around the time we'd just started, I think, and it kind of also confirmed that that was the right thing. So we'd been doing the Beyond the Mind, and then you'd got in touch. We just had a catch up, and you'd suggested it, and I think I just knew that that was something that I needed. That would be good, and so we started, and then we've since extended it.
And what brought you to believe or realize or think that you needed that this is the next thing? What brought you to believe that? What were challenges you were working on as far as you're comfortable sharing?
I think it's probably like kind of several different things. I think I struggled to do practices. I sort of felt like when I was in the doing a course or accountable, if you like, then that helped me to kind of set aside and make practices. Otherwise I felt like I would drift a bit, and so I might not do something for a while, and then I could feel myself getting caught in narratives again, and then the loop would start and things like that. So I think probably having freshly just done a Beyond the Mind again, which was being involved in kind of getting back into a regular practice. Yeah. And then knowing that this would be, so I wasn't necessarily following a program, but it was almost like an accountability. Like I knew that I was showing up. And so therefore, it was showing up for me, but also allowing me to do it. And
so someone to support you and help you.
Yeah.
That you're showing up every week, you're making progress, you're not alone on it, you're not on your own.
Yeah. I think that's a big part too, in knowing a different perspective as well, and
different perspective.
Guidance. So just sometimes just that facilitation can help when I felt like at times I could get caught probably in my narrative or in the character will just get caught, and then it's just having someone to help you, just guide you just beyond that, which has helped go a bit deeper, I guess, or have an awareness of parts that potentially wouldn't have got to on my own.
Yeah. And I think, and you see if it's true, it's like it helps you go deeper into emotional work. Often when we do the work on our own, we can stay a bit surface level. With someone guiding you, it's how I perceive working with you is going deeper into emotional work. And really that's where the deep changes happen. You go deep into emotional work, unconscious beliefs and memories, stored emotions, pains and burdens that we carry.
Yeah.
And I always like to ask that question is, I know my personal answer to it, but what to you is the difference? And you kind of alluded to that, but what to you is the difference between doing the work on your own to doing it with someone else? Why do you think, for example, it's more helpful to do it with someone else? What's the benefits of doing it on your own? What's the benefit of someone helping you or combining that? How do you see all that?
Yeah, I think it's just all parts of the journey, and probably both are necessary, but yeah, there's work that I think happens on your own, which is good, and it can happen when you put the work in, but it can also happen just, I think, sometimes unexpectedly, when you have awareness of something and you get, things come apparent then. But I think for me, probably doing the coaching and having someone else I've probably been able to move some of the deeper beliefs and things that potentially there was a bit of resistance, and maybe like some characters I couldn't quite go there because there was probably some protective layers, and doing this has sort of helped guide and sort of navigate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have those resistance in some places. It's repressed emotions from a long time ago, or it's unconscious to us, and actually parts of us don't want to go there. So it helps to have someone kind of gently guide you in there.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes I wasn't gentle as well. Ruthlessly guide you.
Gentle is a good word. Yeah.
I'm mostly gentle.
Yeah.
Mostly gentle. Yeah. Good. But someone to guide you over there.
I think with those, particularly, probably I'm thinking of those deep shifts, I think the gentle nature is, was required. I think, there have been times where maybe it's a bit more upfront, but I think maybe some of those haven't been quite as, the protective layers haven't been quite as strong or vocal, Yeah. That makes sense.
So gently guiding you there and processing those things that you didn't know were there. And that's when beliefs start to happen, to change. Emotions that we carry start to release. We let go of pain, and our behavior starts to change, or the way we see the world, our mind, our thoughts, our actions, they all start to change.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, so what were big insights for you? So we started the process of coaching, and then what was happening? I never know. Well, I ask sometimes, but I can't fully know from your perspective or a client's perspective. But what's going on for you? Wins, insights, discoveries, changes that you experienced, resistance that you experienced along the way?
Yeah. I think that's been a big insight for me. Was realizing, I think there was a part that felt, like I sort of said before, but that I would reach a point in that probably thinking there would be no resistance, like that would be gone. I wouldn't feel that anymore, done. That issue's boom, done, put it away. And realizing actually, no, it's there. But you can come to a place that you don't have to get caught up, I guess, in the narrative. So you can still be present in this resistance or this character, this whatever emotion, that can still be okay, but you can exist. It can exist without you having to, I guess, react. So I guess the resistance is always the trigger that there's something.
Some pressure underneath.
Yeah. And
so
pushing it down and ignoring it isn't always gonna be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you actually want to address it. And yeah, in your life you can have resistance, and you can have resistance to doing something and you actually do it. And at the same time, you can
Yeah.
explore what that resistance is about and heal
Yeah.
whatever wound is there.
It's been big for me. I think, yeah, allowing these characters, these emotions to feel. I've done a lot of um, pushing stuff down in a way and ignoring, over my life. And so, a lot of these emotions and things would come up and I just don't want to feel them, And so that's been a big thing, is just allowing that to be felt, um and that being okay, that it's
Yeah.
not and it takes time. I think there's still things that I'm still learning through. I mean, there will be, absolutely.
Yep.
Um, but it was quite a big shift, I think, just to initially allow that, allow myself to feel it, to yeah,
Yeah.
let it
Allow
be.
yourself to feel all those things. Let them
Yeah,
be. All these emotions we've been trying to escape all our lives, to actually face that. And what happens when you do that? Why is that important? Why is that a big shift? Some people could think, oh, but I actually want to escape from that. I want to be happy, and I don't
yeah.
want to go there.
I think I think I've realised that the more I've done it, the bigger it's gotten. That's how it feels, and so it almost feels like it'll explode.
The
um,
more you push it down.
yeah, there's some things that I've just kept going, and so then you reach a point where I've been like, if I let that out, it's not gonna stop. Um, so I think I've sort of realised, actually it's okay to let yourself. I mean, there's been the odd time where I've wanted to cry, and so I just um, have let myself cry and sob, and it's almost like I just let that out, and then it's okay. And I think if I need to do that again, I do, but I haven't then jammed it down to think, no, that's not okay, like, and then try and replace it with something else. It's just allowed it, and then I get to move on, and it's almost like that part's been heard. I think that's how I describe it. It's
It's part of you.
yeah, it's sort of been allowed to um and there's been some that I've discovered, yeah, the reason behind some of these, um and often it is wanting just to be heard or seen, and so it's almost like that it allows it to be heard and seen, and that's it. That's all it
That's the
wanted.
healing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's listening to the part of us carrying pain that we've been ignoring or resisting or pushing down or identifying with, and giving
mm,
them that compassionate listening and attention. And that's where the
yeah,
healing and change happens.
yeah.
You said you noticed the big changes now, and you remind of that interview. How do you notice that? How does one, where do you look back? How do you see the changes?
I think it's the way I think I notice it in, I say, my thinking, or just the way I see my perspective, I guess, now, or awareness. I think I just notice a big awareness more of how when things come up, characters or emotions, and I can now able to think, well, that's interesting, um, rather than like, and it's not that I still don't sometimes get caught up in a narrative, um, but I think I used to, that was it, I would get caught, and then it was after, in hindsight, later, looking back and then reflecting and, processing, I could see, but I'm starting to be able to see more um, as it happens, or literally right, might have started, but then be, oh, that's, I can see, just have an awareness perspective, and And I think it's just given me a bit more compassion, I guess, or just a different way of thinking. I feel like I'm less quick to come to a hard and fast rule, or this is my opinion, that's what I think. Not that I still don't have opinions, but it could be very black and white. And I think I'm now just sort of can take a breath and be a bit more open to, okay, so obviously my belief system, I have based a belief on something, but that doesn't mean that that other perspective is wrong, like that's just a different point of view or something. So it's allowed me to be a bit more open. And definitely with my parenting, like it's probably parenting's been something like we've talked a lot about, and that I've constant something I'm reflecting on. And I can see in my relationship with my kids, like it's a journey, but I can definitely see some shifts in how I parent them now.
What did you notice?
I think it's a time thing, and allowing I think through some of the work I've done, I've seen that a lot. A lot of beliefs are based up until, from an early age. And my kids that happen to be in that age bracket. And I think for me, a lot of them were just wanting to be seen and heard. And so I'm quite aware. I'm aware that I will do things that may cause my kids, unawares to me, and not intentionally, but things will happen. But I'm also just aware to try and, I guess, take that time more now to be aware, and just to try and actually a bit more intentional, I guess, about my interaction, so that I do listen, that maybe talk things through a bit more. That's not to say I don't have moments where I'm quite tired and and choose not to do that. But I think I'm more aware of it, and maybe more intentional in how I approach some things with them.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. And then when you don't, you don't have, you hopefully then don't beat yourself up on it. You have compassion for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's another thing this work is allowing me is a lot more compassion for myself.
And I know with moms and parents, there's that parental guilt that some carry, and like, am I doing the right thing? And some of that is having compassion for ourselves, and then we can actually, our kids can learn that, to be self-compassionate and not be so rigid and tight.
And apologize when you're wrong.
And apologizing. That's
been a big thing. Sorry, I was mum was out of line there. So
and often we're challenged by our kids, and I think you notice that because it triggers stuff in us from our own childhood. And then we kind of react to that.
Totally.
And I'm curious, was there any resistance for you to start coaching or during the process?
It's always
good.
Characters have lots to say.
Good. I don't want to make it seem like there's no resistance in the process. There is a lot. Okay.
But I think we also talked through some of those as well, and I think I actually talked through some with my husband, and
Good. What's next for you? You're starting a new job. You're connecting with what you want in life. What's happening right now? What's next?
That's been a huge shift for me, and that's been I'm like, just even the fact that I'm starting a new job has been, will be soon. a big step for me, I guess. And I think I'm starting to, I realize I stopped dreaming. I think there was a lot of fear involved, um, and I'm just starting to, I think, start to dream again and realize I put myself in a real big box, well, a small box actually. um, and it's just, I'm breaking down those boundaries, and it's taking a bit of time, and I think it's sort of, it's been a gentle process in doing it and still working on it, but I'm starting to see beyond those walls, that the possibilities for myself, which is quite huge and quite cool. And so this is just a step, I think, in that. And yeah, and in creating a life I want, like that's, and realizing I'm being more intentional about that as well. I think I sort of would also thought it would just passively happen, or or it should, or what have you, but realizing there's a bit of creation in that, and choosing those things as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Become more intentional in how you spend time with kids, how you start your day, what
yeah,
you eat, what you study.
things I enjoy, what I want, who I want to
Yeah,
spend with.
good.
Yeah.
Not living it up to chance, but
Mm.
actually being purposeful about it.
Mm.
It's not. One of my mentors would say, "Yeah, you do your half and let life do its half. You got
Yeah.
to do your half. Don't
Yeah.
expect life to do everything. Do this something."
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But equally in that allowing, because I've also tended to um a lot, probably more the planner and like the control and like things in place. So allowing,
how's
so
that going for you?
being intentional.
I
Well,
remember we talked about it at the beginning. Wow, what's up
well,
with that?
this past having COVID, like I'm literally just come out of having COVID, has been good for that, because like we did talk about this the other week. I had a moment where I thought I'm not doing A, B, C, the things that I had sort of wanted to, and then also realised you actually have COVID, and circumstances are not. I had kids at home. I was trying to homeschool as well as all sorts, and I just needed rest, and so I just allowed myself that rest, and actually it was one of the best lockdown we've had over the past 2 years.
You
So
enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it. So
Yeah.
it was nice. Yeah. I sort of eased off on myself, but I just allowed myself that compassion.
Yeah.
Doing it
You
so it's
saw
like
how you pushed yourself since a young age.
yeah,
It's like, "Ugh, I don't need to push myself so hard anymore. I can
no,
love myself and do nothing."
yeah, and enjoy life. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
We learned those patterns as like, you gotta push yourself, and we do all that, and we don't notice we're doing all that to our detriment as we grow.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I with starting new things and being purposeful, I remember we were working for some stuff, emotions and beliefs. I don't remember what, but then we had like 15 minutes left or 20 minutes left, and I was like, well, we got some time. Do you want to try something new? And I had you dream up what do you want to create in life, and stuff like that, doing this visualization meditation. And I don't know how it was going, but after that you're like, oh, I realized I don't really like my job. I don't know if I want to stay there. It's
Mm.
like, oops. And I had no idea what will come out of that. I was like, okay. But you turn out to really follow through on that. And and go to new places you enjoy more.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this journey is like with life. It's like I can do my half to facilitate things, and then you or anyone I'm working with, do your own half and responsibility of the process and take it wherever you want to take it.
Yeah.
And some want to take it far, and some are slower, and that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that, and I remember having a voice character having a moment saying, "Don't say it out loud, because then like it'll be real, or it'll undermine." You know, it was this box that I'd put myself in, and it was just like, you undermine that existence. And I kind of remember having the moment, like, it could go either way. You know, I could just ignore it and pretend it didn't occur, or I could actually step out and say it. You know, yeah, and that's been quite freeing as well, I think. And realizing that it's again, brought up its own challenges and things that I've been working on, but it's probably, it gives me excitement for the future. But I think
Yeah,
that's what is cool, because I realise there's potential and possibility out there that I would otherwise miss out on if I stayed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it takes some guts because we're afraid. We're kind of attached to our identity, and if you as a nurse, you're like, okay, I've been in this hospital for a while. It takes some guts to say it, and because parts of us have been repressing
Mm.
our desires for a very long time. But actually, well, you tell me this, but are you okay? You're moving to a new job, and
Yeah.
did anything really bad happen?
No, I'm still here.
You're still here, so
I'm
maybe
still
that fear
here.
wasn't true after all. No,
Yeah. And I'm actually looking forward to a change, which is,
yeah,
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's the cool part. Yeah.
you're looking forward to it, and you're seeing possibilities. I think,
Mm.
like in our call, we had a few times where I know I think that's how you call it, like connecting with your fire that you felt inside you, and seeing, letting it show you. Then you dream up what possibilities you see in life. What do you see possible? We got all these infinite possibilities,
Mm.
but we're conditioned to follow this very narrow line if we don't do
Mm.
the work to free ourselves up from that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the beliefs you've created along the way, just through experience and what have you, from yourself and others. Um, yeah,
They're holding
they,
you back.
it's opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm probably, I don't know, maybe everyone's different. I was going to say, maybe some people jump right in. And I think, I feel like I'm taking a gentle approach, but, well, I'm just taking the approach I think that's sort of that's working for me at the moment. But yeah, it's forward movement, and I still think there's more. But this is the next step for me, is how I feel.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't feel at all like this is the end by any means. You know, I know.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm even probably more excited about what's beyond this next step. But I know this next step is necessarily in the meantime. So
The next
yeah,
step is in the job, is in exploring your beliefs, is in all of
I
that.
think like in terms of probably talking about job, but I think that's allowing me to do more of that, explore my beliefs, explore um, my passions and things. Um, and I just
Yeah.
think whatever opportunity comes from that, you know, will be awesome. But I also think, because I think I'm moving towards potentially leaving nursing. So this is kind of another step in nursing, but it will be a change, and it's still opening some doors and, you know, working on a few things that have been
Yeah.
made for a while. Um, but yeah, I think the next step will be to change my profession, which after 20 years is quite a has been daunting, but I guess
Yeah.
that's getting less. I'm not going to say that's fully gone yet, but it's getting less, and I think I'm more. Before I would have just shut down the idea of doing something else, but now
Don't think about it.
yeah, but now I'm excited actually. But there's something else that I could do, so that's quite a change in perspective, and yeah, and there's this excitement in there. So I know that's where I'm moving towards and progressing, and I think there's journeying to go along with that. So
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, and it takes guts, and the journey has pain and challenges in it, and it has all these insights and actually and growth and well, you tell me, but in my experience, you also feel better inside. You end up feeling more love. You're more calm, and you have more agency on how you live your life because you're not living from fear so much.
yeah,
And yeah, the more you grow into your authenticity and creating your life, that means also going into some uncomfortable terrain. You know,
yeah.
do you want to play small and safe, or do you actually want to create the life you want?
I think there's still small and safe is still uncomfortable. I'm probably realizing that more, that even in the what I thought was safe, that's still uncomfortable. There's still stuff that I was not liking, and and looping in there. And so this is, yes, I'm facing things, but that's just opening up, and with that comes I guess just so much more the good stuff as well.
Yeah,
It comes
yeah.
with both,
There's a cost. There's a
Yeah.
cost to small and safe. There's a cost that we pay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Is there anything you want to share yourself? Anything you want to add or share yourself, or say to people who are may watch this or watching this, or during the process and struggling and not sure if you're getting results, or thinking about starting?
I think it's just starting, and I think it's almost like just one step at a time. I think I probably often would look at the big I knew what I wanted in the big picture, and that's I want to get there, and in the meantime probably could miss out on some of the what's happening here and what's happening now. And I think it's just actually one, like cliche, but one day at a time, one step at a time. It's just actually stepping out. And I think if you're already in that mindset and aware of it, you've got nothing to lose, because you're aware you want more. You're aware there's got to be something better, if you will. Like I was just I knew there was a better way to live. I just thought, it's not that I still didn't have happy moments and what have you, but I just knew I was in this loop and felt stuck, and I just thought, what have I got to lose? I just knew that there was more to life for me than what I was living, and the only way to do that is to start. And and I think you just there's always the analogies of sports, but I mean I quite enjoy sport and being physically active myself, but you're not going to run a marathon straight out. You've got to start with run 100 meters, and then you just start somewhere, and then as you progress you get skills, and you just go with the way, and then after a while you don't even think about the marathon because you're just moving. That's probably how I feel.
And you're in it.
I've kind of probably lost sight of the finish line now, which is cool, because
You're enjoying it.
Just enjoying the process and realizing actually I'm going to be going further than the marathon, so it doesn't even matter about the finish line.
Because your box is bigger. So what do you imagine is possible for your life?
Yeah.
Now you're halfway through the marathon. Now you see further up.
Yeah. Don't even say it's just wherever it ends. Yeah, wherever it finishes, it doesn't matter at that point
Absolutely.
anymore. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you don't know how far it goes. And the better
Yeah.
it gets, the better it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, you almost feel like you want to keep going. Like, let's do the ultra of ultras, because it's just going to keep getting better. Then let's keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah. And I love what you said about, just starting. And when you start, for example, for a marathon, you put faith that you can do it, or you put some faith. You maybe not like, oh, it's definitely possible, but you put some faith that, yeah, it might be possible, or maybe I can't do a marathon, but I can do 1K.
Mm.
Okay, you get to 1K, you can do 2K. Maybe I could do something, and I don't have to just be stuck in my life and in freeze mode and helpless mode. And for all of us, we have this knowing that there is something better, and that's why we do what we do. Everything we do is to be happy. We just tend to look at the wrong places very often.
Mm. And I think there's enjoyment even in the like if you've not run before, to get to a kilometre, that's amazing. Like you feel there's satisfaction in that as well,
Yes.
And then I think you can get caught up in then stopping and going, oh, but I've got 41 more K to go, or what have you. Yeah, when you achieve that and you're great, but then you look the other way and you think, oh, but look how much there is to go. But then you reach 2K and that's an achievement, so it's not like the journey's awful. Or,
Nope.
like there's still achievements and still cool stuff that happens in this. But then I just sort of have felt like I've got that far into it that now I'm not even thinking about the running.
You're in. That's
I'm
it. There's
into
no
it,
going back,
and
Megan. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm
But
really sorry that the awful thing I've led you to do it.
there's no going back.
No going back. Now you have to run a long marathon back, and I'm really sorry. It's just awful.
I don't want to though. I don't want to stop.
You don't know what to. Yeah. Once you get going, you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
And it depends on how you think about the process.
Yeah.
Do you look at it as wins, or do you look at it as like, if I look behind me, if I look forward, it looks like I have a long way to go, and I barely made momentum. I barely moved forward. But if I look behind me, I can see how far I've come.
Mm.
And where am I looking, and how am I measuring?
And I've probably had moments where I've had either perspective, where I've felt like, look at me, look how far I've come. And then I've also had moments where I thought, what am I doing? Like, is this, I'll be honest.
Is this working?
Moments, yeah. And to be fair, it's probably in a similar state when we started this journey. I was probably felt in a bit of a stuck, like, oh, I have look, I have come, but what's going forward? And then this was probably that next step in helping to, make that shift. And I would say it definitely has, sped up the rate of progress, maybe, but just allowed. I've shifted some deep stuff, I think, with coaching.
I look at it as a deepening.
Yeah, and that has definitely, lightened the load, if you like. And
I think, lightened the load of what?
I'd say felt a heaviness too a lot of the time, just life was hard and heavy. Life was a slog. And I even some days I now feel like I skip through life. So that's
oh wow, that's a big change.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not that I still don't have my days where I feel like I'm slogging, but I'm noticing there's difference now. It's not feeling like
and there's movements.
Yeah. I'm having I just notice a change, I guess, and that in itself is a win and a cool. Yeah.
If you feel like life is a slog, and then it's less of a slog, and maybe now it's a walk, but a slow walk, and then now you're skipping, and maybe next time you're sprinting. In my experience, the more you go, the more movement there actually is in your life. And it's almost like because you can contain more movement, is always more things happen in your life. It's kind of like you're driving 500 miles an hour with no wind. So there's also a peace there. It's not a frantic movement.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but the more you do the process, the more movement happens in your life. I call it authentic movement because it's not repetitive movement that we have when we live from patterns. It's really authentic. It's new. It's fresh movement. And you see that in looking for a job. You see that in how you relate to your kids, how you feel. This is authentic movement that happens.
Yeah, and I guess it's just even like I'm still doing the same things, but just that perspective on that has changed, and it's like looking at it through a new set of eyes. Yeah. Again, so it's not even like someone swept in and I'm now, a millionaire with
You're not a millionaire now?
With a private jet, and, or that's not actually what I aspire. But, it's not even like,
Well, you're living the same life in many ways, but you feel completely different.
Yeah, but I just approach it differently.
It's the same life and a different life at the same time. It's like it's the same life, but you experience it differently.
Yeah.
Because your mind is different.
Yeah. On the outside, it looks the same, but it's not on the inside.
Yeah, and sometimes people don't even notice that you change. Like,
yeah,
but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's cool when those close, like obviously my husband, I'm quite open with my husband and we talk about it a lot, and, he notices changes, which is cool. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. That is cool.
Good for you.
So I'm thankful for this journey, and I'm thankful for the part that you play in it too, which has been cool. And the community, the self-mastery community, I'm probably come and go, from that differently to some, but
I should mention like some of the things you mentioned, like the community, and because not everybody's in it watching will be in it, but it's from the Beyond the Mind course. Our course is in the self-mastery community, a community of my mentor Gary Van Warmerdam and his partner Eva Baronius. But I'd mentioned that. Okay, I'm thankful to be journeying with you, and you having me in there along the ride.
It's good.
And look forward for more.
Yeah.
There's infinite possibilities for you.
Yeah. There are. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pretty cool.